my polycystic princess sisters. So today we are going to talk about the science behind PCOS because I think it's key for whatever condition you have to understand the science behind it in order to treat it. If you don't understand what you're doing with your body, you're not going to be taking the right steps to treat yourself. So basically, what is PCOS? So in my previous video, you may remember me mentioning that it has its similarities to diabetes. Now, what do I mean by that? So there are three causes of PCOS. One could be your lifestyle. So do you have a history of taking birth control pills that have heavily affected your hormone levels, or your body, your reproductive organs? Do you have a history of childhood trauma and stress? Are you obese? Or do you have a genetic disposition? All three of these factors, genetics, lifestyle, and obesity, play a part in the hormonal changes of your body, and that can affect how resistant your cells are to insulin. But to understand how this even causes PCOS, you need to understand what insulin is and why your cells should not be resistant to insulin. Insulin is a hormone that is produced in the body when your blood sugar levels are high. So after you eat, when your blood sugar levels are elevated, insulin is released in your body. And what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to be taken up by cells in order to reduce blood sugar levels. So the sugar in your blood will go into your cells and be metabolized there, so it will be used for energy and that sort of thing. But what happens when your cells are resistant to insulin is that the sugar in your blood stays there, and instead it is turned into fat. So it's turned into like adipose tissues, and it is not used for energy. So when it's not used for energy, you feel fatigued and you feel like, hey, I just ate, but I'm so tired and hungry. And it's because your body has not managed to produce that fuel that it needs. And so you eat again, and it's just an endless cycle. So that's the science behind insulin resistance. It is the insulin resistance experienced by PCOS patients that causes them to have higher risk of getting diabetes, CVD, which is cardiovascular disease, and metabolic syndrome. When you have insulin resistance, you are more likely to produce high levels of androgens. Androgens are your male hormones like testosterone, and this is what gives rise to excessive oil production that results in cystic acne. It's what gives rise to things like hirsutism, which is excessive body and facial hair. According to Healthline, insulin resistance is also associated with depression. One theory is that insulin resistance changes how the body makes certain hormones that can lead to prolonged stress and depression. Because PCOS is also associated with inflammation throughout the body, thanks to excessive androgens in a female body that's not supposed to have that many androgens, this inflammation is associated with high levels of cortisol, which increases stress and depression. This can function almost like an endless cycle, because insulin resistance can cause depression and stress, but high levels of cortisol, which causes stress, can also increase the risk of insulin resistance, which in turn can cause depression. So it's just going in a circular motion, and that's why a lot of people only experience PCOS at later stages in their life. The high levels of androgens associated with PCOS can also cause disruptions in your monthly cycle of menstruating and ovulating. Your period cycle does not necessarily have to be affected for you to know that you have PCOS. It's just one of the symptoms. Symptoms are interchangeable. You may see some, you may not see some, that kind of thing. But never doubt your condition, if you suspect that you might have something, it's always best to go and get checked. But if you don't have the money to, like I said before as well, just make changes to your lifestyle and hope you see a difference. So I hope you learned something today. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.